This is a public service announcement, folks. Oh my goodness, hang on just a minute. Okay. I I guess you could call this part two to the video I made yesterday about this poor woman who had all these chicks and a few adults die overnight, and she couldn't figure out why. Um, I was going to sleep last night, and it was really late. I was pretty much already asleep, I think, and all of a sudden my brain started working. It tends to work when I'm half asleep better than it does when I'm awake, I think. And I thought I had a memory of something we had discussed on backyardchickens.com years ago. Probably 15 years ago is when I think this happened. And I know there's probably since been a lot of discussions after that. But the first time I saw this, it was on backyardchickens.com, which I think is an excellent place to learn a lot. Better than Facebook groups and such. So I started thinking, there was a discussion a long time ago about the dangers of PTFEs. PTFEs are polytetrafluoroethylene. It's a PTFE is Teflon. It's Teflon. Now we all have seen about that in relation to cookware. That's why I don't have Teflon anymore. We use cast iron. But PTFEs are often found as coatings on light bulbs, and mainly to keep for food warmers, like food warming light bulbs, say in the restaurants where they don't want the bulb to shatter. And I recalled suddenly that might very well be the explanation for what happened to this woman's flock. I don't know, of course. I think Rachel said she since deleted her post or something and that she couldn't find it anymore. But she did say she had a heat lamp on the chicks when someone asked. She didn't say what kind. She didn't say anything about that. Well, this is where research and preparation come in before you get chickens. You must know that chickens are highly susceptible and sensitive to aromatics of any kind and airborne toxins. And PTFEs off-gas toxic fumes, especially when they're heated up to 500 degrees or they just overheat. Now, a 250 watt red light bulb is not, hopefully it wouldn't get 500 degrees, but if it overheats, and sometimes these things overheat, that could happen. Now, I came across several posts about chickens waking up to dead chickens. And this has happened since this time that I remember. And they woke up to 20 chickens dead in their coop, had to do necropsies, and it said it was airborne toxins. Well, the airborne toxins most likely came from a heat lamp that was not configured, it was not manufactured for use with poultry. And the box won't always tell you it's PTFE free. It won't always tell you that, or if it has it in there, it won't say so. If it's clues that it might be full of those, might be Teflon coated, would be if it's shatterproof. It says it's shatterproof, or if you can feel it in it's not smooth. It's not smooth like glass. It's like a pebbled surface, like a textured surface. Those might have PTFEs on them. Now, even chickens can be. They could be susceptible to things like if you're burning a citronella candle for keeping mosquitoes out. You don't want those around chickens, ever. People say, oh, let's use tea tree oil on my chickens. That's an aromatic. And also, if they ingest it, it's definitely fatal. So, you don't want to use these bulbs with the coatings on them. I do believe that most bulbs manufactured for poultry, use in poultry barns, are PTFE free, because it's fatal. It can be fatal. Now, if you see, let's talk about symptoms. Okay, first of all, the symptoms. If your chickens look like they're wheezing or gasping, and if maybe they're weak and they're wobbling around, and they're just gasping for air, labored breathing, that could be a sign that they're getting toxins from something in the air being burnt. And you know what the remedy for that is if you catch it? fresh air. Fresh air. Get them, turn off whatever is plugged in, get them fresh air. This is why I keep saying one reason why ventilation is so critical. If she had a lot of ventilation, even with chicks, you have to have some ventilation. Maybe it would not have overdosed. That's not really the right term for this, but and also if she'd done some research, you know. Now, also there's a lot of these El Cheapo heat lamps that are sold by Amazon and Walmart too, of course. But I've used the same bulbs for a long time. I don't always use the red big heat lamps. Most of the time I'll use the little ceramic 100-watt no light reptile bulbs for my little heat spots. It's very localized heat spots. Doesn't put out any light at all. And I've had these for years. And I think the last several that I had over the years have come from Tractor Supply's Producer's Pride brand. Those are not dangerous. If you buy something off Amazon, you have no idea what you're getting, honestly. It's like, remember, lead poisoning. A lot of these ceramics and things from China, excuse me, dry throat now. These ceramics and things from China contain lead. And you know how poisonous lead is. So if they don't, you know, Amazon and Walmart, they don't watch out for their vendors selling toxic things. So, I mean, and they're expensive. Therefore, somebody might be trying to save money and get some really cheap on Amazon, and they might be setting their birds up for extreme issues and maybe death. So that is the only thing I could think of that would make sense to say overnight. Half of my chicks are dead and 4 adults are dead in the same coop. And I did mention poisoning. Well, this is kind of air poisoning. And I don't know that this is what happened. Now, don't get me wrong. But I thought, you know, I don't know that I've ever really discussed this on my channel. I think I may have many years ago when I made a lot of chicken videos. I think I may have mentioned it in passing. But no, most people, they don't go back and watch the really old videos. They watch the newer stuff, generally, I think. So it bears repeating that you don't want PTFEs on your heat bulbs. If it's for heating up food, do not use it. If it's a work light, don't necessarily use it. You need to use heat. Now, you can do these heat plates, which are less likely to catch fire. They don't warm up as much, obviously. But if you're brooding chicks in the house, you don't need anything big like that. All I use is a reptile bulb in the rabbit cage brooder. Right now they have for nighttime, since it's still really cool at night, the chicks, since they're not fully feathered yet, they have a heat bulb that's a reptile bulb, ceramic one, that points at the roost on one end and one that points at the floor. The first night my husband put that up because they were all scared and they all huddled in the front of the pen. And I think they come out now. But I've never had any problems with any heat lamps. I've always used them that were specifically made for the brooder lamps. And if you get something for chickens or reptiles, generally, those probably are not full of that PTFE stuff. So I just want you to be safe with your chickens. And maybe she didn't know to look for that. Maybe she didn't, you know, she could have, like I said, tried to save money and bought a cheaper Amazon product that doesn't have the standards, not manufactured up to the standards it should be. So that would be, it's not, when you do research before you get chickens, you really should research everything. What's safe? Do you know that aromatics are not unsafe for chickens? Do you know if you burn a citronella candle to get rid of the mosquitoes near them, you may be poisoning your own chickens? People don't know this. People come about, they're big on essential oils, but it's like you gotta be careful with the aromatic oils like cedarwood and citronella and all that kind of stuff. So doesn't mean you can't use any, like in a solution for a barn spray, but you can't have it heavy like that. So that's what I want to tell you. Fresh air immediately if they show those symptoms. Getting them fresh air. Make sure you have enough ventilation. It's possible she didn't have enough ventilation in her coop. I don't know. We don't have the details. I'm not saying that. She should have done more research before she did this. She shouldn't have. First, she should have put them in her coop. Period. And of course, then she should have known to watch out for dangerous heat lamps or whatever. But I don't know what she did. I don't know, but anyway, that's all I had to say. And I just want, I did want to mention though that, totally off topic. In the last couple of weeks, my cough is just about gone. It's about gone. It's more like a throat clearing now. And I was up all night coughing before. I haven't coughed at night hardly all out, period, for the last week and a half to 2 weeks. And the only thing I can think of that's different, well, first thing, I threw my windows open wide instead of just cracking them. I threw them open wide, so I got a lot more fresh air at night. But also, I purchased some Element electrolyte mix, and it seems expensive. It has more sodium, much more sodium than most electrolyte mixes, which is per scientific research that you need more sodium than the daily requirements tell you do. And it just has those three things. Now, this is not sponsored. They don't know anything about me telling you about this. But honestly, I think that the Element with the extra salt in it, and I don't mind the salty taste. I mean, you put more water in it, mix it in more water, up to 32 ounces of water if you just want it barely salty. I usually end up doing it in 24 ounces, so it's fairly salty. And I don't mind that. I think maybe, because they say gargle with salt water. Well, I was doing that, but like once every couple of days. Well, every day I've been drinking a glass of Element, and having that salt run over my throat, I think has actually helped clear up the phlegm in my throat. Nice benefit there. I just got it because, I know that this summer I'm going to be outside a lot. We're going to be sweating a lot, and we want to need our electrolytes. Don't want leg cramps and headaches if we can help it. And so anyhow, in my description box, I will have a link that you can use if you want to. You don't have to. I don't. You don't have to. I mean, when I bought it, they said, he said, if you would like to, refer your friends, here's a link they can use, and if they use your link, they will get a free sample pack. The sample pack's worth about $20 from the Element website. It's 8 packets. Sometimes they sell it cheaper on Walmart or something, but they give you a free 8 packet sample pack with 8 different flavors in it, and one of them is raw unflavored, and you got grapefruit salt and raspberry salt and watermelon salt and chocolate salt and orange salt and the most interesting one is mango chili salt. It tastes like mango fruit drink, but with a kick. So I just thought I would let you know that if you use that link down there, you'll get a free sample pack in your order. I'm not on these carnivore channels or anything like that, even though I advocate for carnivore. So if you use that link, you'll get that. They say that they'll give me a free box with your first order or something. I don't know if that's true. I don't care. I mean, it'd be nice, but I don't care. But I really think it's really helped clear up the last part of my cough. It kicked it on out of there, pushed it on out. I'm convinced that the extra salt in there, me drinking this whole giant glass of electrolyte mixed with that salt, it only has sodium, potassium, and magnesium. And no other vitamins, no additives. One of them has stevia. The flavored has stevia as a sweetener, no sugar. So, just to let you know that, and that's all I have to say today. Talk to y'all later. Bye.